Pressure washing and exterior cleaning business owners. What's the number one question your customers ask you? It's probably, how much does it cost? And in this video, I'm gonna show you why hiding your pricing online quietly kills your lead flow and visibility, and how Google and AI platforms like ChatGPT are already dictating your prices without your input, especially if you're hiding your prices online. And your future customers have more information at their fingertips than ever before. And as AI evolves, they won't just want more context, they'll expect it before they even ever call your business. And the businesses that win are the ones whose websites make pricing feel clear and predictable. And now there are three big reasons exterior cleaning companies don't post pricing. Well, number one is our pricing is too complicated. Number two is we'll scare customers away. And number three is going to be we don't want competitors to see our pricing. And let me go ahead and rebuttal each of those. So first, our pricing is too complicated. Customers don't need an exact quote. They need a believable range plus of factors that move them up or down. If you know you never clean a roof under $400 and you rarely clean one that's over $1,600, then you can just typically publish, hey, our typical roof cleaning ranges from $400 to $1,600, and it depends on roof size, pitch, and material. And guess what? That's enough for a normal person to decide this is in my ballpark without boxing you into a fixed exact price. And secondly, we'll scare customers away. What scares customers more than price is indecision. If they can't find any price on your site, they click back and call the next company that at least gives them a ballpark or a range. And think about it, would you walk into a restaurant with no prices on the menu? You probably wouldn't, because you're not going to risk a $20 steak versus a $300 steak, and your customers feel the same way about your quotes. And third is we don't want our competitors to see our pricing. And let me just be honest with you here. You probably already know roughly what your main competitors charge, and they know roughly what you charge. The only ones that are left in the dark are the customers, and hiding prices doesn't protect you from competitors. It just makes you look less trustworthy to your actual customers and buyers. And this isn't theory, guys. Google and AI are literally reshaping the search results around pricing and transparency right now. Let me go ahead and show you guys what I'm already seeing under the hood. And so some of the first things that I have seen specifically on Google, since Google still garners most of the search traffic when people are looking for exterior cleaning services specifically. So as I can see right now, if I were to type in pressure washing Tampa, there's this online estimate button. And when I click on it, it changes the results. And so even Angie's List is advertising average price lists because they know that's what customers are wanting to go ahead and see. And they've always been like that in the first place anyway. It's how they run their business model. But I can see that they're advertising for it. Now when I go on here, it's not about the person targeting pressure washing Tampa, the specific keyword. But now if I type in online estimates, it's going to be the businesses that prioritize having estimate. And so right now in Tampa, looks like nobody really has any blogs, any estimate calculators, but as soon as people start doing that, they're going to be able to go ahead and capture this traffic. And so that's why you're going to see a totally different search result page with this, because even these guys right here just says estimate, and this website doesn't look the best, but the fact that their URL just says estimate, or their title tag says estimate, already tells you. So you want to make sure that you're structuring your business online, right? So that you have, whether it's pricing guides, pricing estimators, whatever it may be, so that when people type in online estimates, you're there. And guess what? On these local service ads, I can get competitive quotes right now, and then Google on my behalf right now, as you see, Google selects 4 top-rated window cleaners near you who typically reply in a few minutes. They will send a message. They'll send 4 messages, right, to businesses right here. How would you like to hear back, SMS or phone call? And sometimes Google, as you can see, Google will pass information, including the contact information you provided, to service providers. So they're going to go ahead and do that. And so if you don't have published pricing, guess what? That is going to end up hurting you. And with these local service ads, one thing that Google has done already too is now they're going even and taking a step further with these local service ads that you see at the top right here. Now, as you can see, Google's introducing rich content like service descriptions and special offers pulled directly from your URLs. And so what Google's basically doing is now they'll begin using the website URLs identified in your local service ads account to generate content like businesses and service descriptions for special offers, pricing information, and discounts for your ads. So what is this rich content essentially about, guys? Most of it is centered around pricing. special offers, pricing information, and discounts. All of that is centered around what? Pricing. And so they show you how to go ahead and use this feature, because now they're going to be even more transparent about that pricing to the customers, even when you're doing advertising. And they're pulling it from what? Your website. That's why it's even more important that you have your website structured for pricing, because it's even going to affect how your local service ads are going to be displayed as well. This is the first time that we're seeing organic and paid intersecting. It's like DC and Marvel. And so now another thing that Google's doing too that I want to show you guys is now they have how to check pricing for local businesses with AI and Google search. And so now they simplify your daily tasks and save time directly in Google search. So now they can get things done faster. Guess what, guys? They have a button that people can press where it has have AI check pricing. And so what Google's going to do is, for services like they say auto repair, hair salon, and coming to pressure washing very soon, they're going to have a button that customers can press where it says have AI check pricing. And I'll show you guys an example of what this looks like here soon. But have AI check pricing. They'll add details about the service that they need. They'll submit it, and Google will call multiple service providers that are near that customer. And Google will share the business's details, which may include the name, all of that of the customer to the business. And the customer will receive an email from Google with quotes from various service providers. And so that's why you want to have your pricing as transparent as possible so that Google's not dictating pricing for you, which I'll get to here in a minute. And so when it comes to this, guess what? As you guys can see, one thing that I always like to say is that when it's in the HVAC and plumber industry, it's about 2 or 3 years away from being in the pressure washing industry as well, because that's exactly how local service ads were. And so now when people say things like plumbers near me, it has have AI get prices. And exactly as I determined right here, or as we just saw right now, the customer will be able to submit this information. And so here's an example of what it will look like. Like, what type of service do you need at that point? And then they'll give them an update of the service. So they say they are available for faucet repair right now, but did not provide a price estimate. Now, if I provide a price estimate and I'm as transparent as possible, not only do I have it on my website, but I also told Google what our pricing was too. Instead of this whole, well, you have to come out to your home and give you a price. If I can give a customer a range, it still can give them confidence. As I mentioned earlier, you want to go ahead and ensure that you do not cause indecision in your customers. Indecision is what drives, no sales. It's not you being as transparent as possible. And so, as you can see right now, they are not providing prices right here. And what's that going to do? It's not going to have the customer feel confident in you. And let's say that they don't see the price right here, you don't pick up. What's the next step that you think they're going to take? They're going to go to your website and see if you have the pricing there. So even if you weren't able to pick up, but you have your pricing published, when they go to your website, they will go ahead and see that pricing as well, which is why it's even more important that you publish your pricing on your website. And so even about the automated calls, same thing. They go over this. So this is different than have AI check pricing. They go over this as well. Google will call on the customer's behalf. And so this is the same thing. Confirm price and availability of services and products. So this is literally what Google's doing to get this information and get these details from your business. And so this is why it's so important. And can you opt out of it? Yes. But that's just going to put you behind the curveball of somebody that does provide that information. And so this is why, and this is how even mega giants like Google are changing the landscape of search. Now I'm going to show you an example of future customer search behavior, because the current customer and the future customers you will have for your exterior cleaning business, they're not only going to have information at their fingertips, but they're going to require that information to make a decision, because now they have more context. So future customers, they want more information, and guess what? They can get it. And I'm going to use ChatGPT as an example, because this is the platform that the average everyday customer is turning to whenever they want to make a decision. See, the difference between how old searches go and how this new behavior is that now if I type in something like, please give me a list of top window cleaning companies in Charlotte, North Carolina, guess what? I get a list of all of these different businesses right now. And in order to show up for these, you want to make sure that your website's structured properly, which I'll show you here soon. But also you want to make sure that you are listed on different businesses and directories. See, this is our client Squeegee Pro's window cleaning, and I'm going to be showing you guys an example of how you can structure your website because they do phenomenal on these type of searches. But as you can see, Gilded Quality, which is one of the local citations directories that we built for them, they reference that. And as you can see for these other businesses, they're not only just referencing their website, but Trust Analytica and these different platforms as well. And so as I go down the list, I have all the businesses at my fingertips right now. But guess what? Now ChatGPT is telling me, they say how to choose the right one. So they're already telling me who has the best overall reputation, full exterior service bundles, boutique detailed focused service, who has the most value and local feel. But guess what, guys? The biggest thing and why you need to provide pricing and context is because now, guess what follow-up question ChatGPT asked me? They said, if you want, tell me your budget, home size, or whether you need interior exterior cleaning, and I can narrow this down to the best 2 to 3 options for your situation. See, back in the day, if I did a Google search, I'd have to do all the research myself to find out each of these individual companies' pricing, based off my home size, if they offered interior and exterior cleaning. I have to go to every single one of these websites. Not anymore. With the future of search now, guess what? I can literally have a prompt, and your future customers are going to say things like this is, can you give me the exact pricing for every company that you recommended for residential window cleaning? And what does ChatGPT say? It says, short answer, you cannot get exact fixed pricing for most of these companies. And that's not me dodging your question. In the industry, most companies don't publish flat rates because pricing depends heavily on your home. But guess what, guys? Remember, as I alluded to in the beginning of the video, you're not going to be able to convert customers if you do not go ahead and have transparency, right? People stall because they don't know the answer, but if you publish the answer for them, they're more likely to contact you. And so if you look right here, there's only 2 businesses, Window Genie and our client, Squeegee Pros. If you look at all these other businesses, it says no published fixed pricing. And so just like the example that I gave at the beginning of the video, would you go to a restaurant that didn't publish their pricing? Why would you go ahead and contact a business if it's a roll of the dice of what their pricing is going to be, right? A lot of people aren't going to do that. So indecision is what kills sales, not being as transparent as possible. And so as I can see right now, Window Genie and Squeegee Pros, which we listed our pricing. Window Genie has exact, and Squeegee Pros for our client, we give standard pricing, but we also tell them that the typical job varies. And so we give an example range. And guess what, guys? We're always publishing these press releases for our clients too, where we have guides about payments and all of that stuff, right? And so this is why we're as transparent as possible. We even publish these as press releases so that we can be the industry leaders in this. And guess what? ChatGPT picked up on that. And so now as I see, I'm not going to, these businesses, I might not go ahead and reach out to them. And you don't want to be the business that happens to. And so now what it says is that what most of these companies actually charge, now you're letting ChatGPT go ahead and dictate pricing. And guess what? Our client, Squeegee Pros, this aligns almost perfectly with Squeegee Pros and Window Genie. So do you think that's going to give the customer more confidence to reach out to my client over you who may not have your pricing published? Of course. So, of course they're talking about what you're not seeing with exact pricing. And so right here, they're saying, only Window Genie gives true fixed pricing and Squeegee Pros gives transparent per window pricing. Everyone else is custom quote only. And so now guess what? The follow-up question is, if you want, tell me your approximate number of windows, 1 or 2 stories, interior, exterior, just outside. I can estimate what each of these companies will likely charge you specifically, much more useful than generic pricing. So the customer can get even more granular and context-based. And I'm about to show you, because you guys might say, how can ChatGPT talk for me? I don't have my pricing online. That doesn't matter to ChatGPT because guess what? Either you have your pricing published and it's 100% definitive and true, or they're going to make up pricing for you. And so as I can see right now, I just gave you an example and I said I have a 2-story, 2,500 square foot home. I need inside and outside cleaning, screens cleaned, and I have 20 windows. And so now, what does ChatGPT say? They said, I'm going to estimate each company using their published pricing, their real pricing models, and Charlotte market averages. And so now it says, your job We go on there and it says typical add-ons. Now they say for Window Genie, right here, the closest thing to exact pricing, they gave a range of the estimated total, $300 to $340. Most predictable pricing, very close to menu pricing. Now Squeegee Pros right here, guess what they did? They said $11, 20 windows. They said estimated total is $260 to $320. So a very transparent pricing model, often slightly cheaper than franchises. And that's because we have what? We have our pricing published. Now for these guys, it says no fixed pricing, but premium service tier. So it says typically based on Charlotte averages. And so now for Window Hero, they're getting spoken, ChatGPT speaking for them since they don't have their pricing online already. Shackshine right here, based on similar jobs. So now you're letting these other companies dictate your pricing now. And so that's not something that you want to do at that point. Now, why is this so important? Because now we're going over all these pricing, but guess what? Now there's a side-by-side comparison, estimated price per job for all of these companies. And so it says what you should actually expect to pay. And so now ChatGPT is even telling them what a realistic quote is, $275 to $350. If you get under $250, unusually cheap. And if you get over $400, premium service or upsells. And so now what are they doing? They're saying the best picks for you based on value, best price to quality. It's our client. It's our client that they're going ahead and that they're saying this right now to. And so now that is why you want to have that transparency throughout every step of the way. Because I'm not going to go on, guys, about even further and narrowing it down, because a customer will probably be satisfied right now with this in terms of, I know what I'm going to be paying. They have it published online right now because they were the only few. So I know that this 260 to 320 is probably 100% accurate, or, as close to 100% accurate as I can get. And that is why it's so important to go ahead and publish your pricing. So now what we'll go ahead and do is we'll talk about how to structure your website so that you show up consistently for these type of searches. So here's how we structured Squeegee Pro's website so that they consistently show up on ChatGPT and also Google, which I'll go ahead and show you here soon. And so the way that we structure these pages, and I'll use a residential window cleaning page as an example because that's what ChatGPT pulled from, is we'll talk a little bit about the overview of their service. Then we'll go about how we calculate the service cost. So as you can see right here, we go over the residential window cleaning, which is what ChatGPT pulled from, and then even the factors that influence pricing. And you also want to have special offers and discounts that you offer because, as I mentioned earlier, local service ads will be pulling this information from your website. But also ChatGPT, when they're giving more context to the customer and other AI platforms, they also mention if they have discounts and offers so that a customer can take that in consideration when they're making their decision. That's why you want to have that discount in any deals that you may have on your website as well. And then we have the type of windows that they clean. We have any additional services as well. Just like this, we also do these at an affordable price of $3 to $7 per screen. And so we're even mentioning price right now when it comes to additional services, because if somebody's looking for window cleaning, also why pricing is so important to put on your website is because these LLMs or AI platforms are going to need more context. And so if you do additional services, they're going to also say, well, they do this additional service and they also do it at this price, so that we're giving as much context as possible. And so that is why you want to structure the page in this kind of manner, talking about the additional services, the type of windows, and if that factors into the pricing as well. And then also just any discounts and price ranges that you want to go ahead and display on your website. And the other thing that you want to do is you want to have blog topics about this. You don't want to just blog just to blog. For our clients, we blog about topics that their customers are always asking. And so we make this blog about how much does window cleaning cost in Charlotte, North Carolina. And guess what? This actually does bring them leads. As you can see on Friday, April 17th, right here, how much does window cleaning cost in Charlotte right now? And so this right here is exactly why you want to be able to go ahead and create these kind of transparency blogs when it comes to pricing. And you don't have to just do your own pricing. On these kind of blogs, we do local rates and averages. So right now, but of course we put our clients' pricing info in there to set the standard. But as you can see right now, it's a summary of everything, whether it's residential, commercial, high-rise, interior only, both in and out, pricing by the number of windows, how much the window height. So we're going over every single variable that you can go ahead and do, even add on extra services. And so even by the season, reoccurring plans, neighborhoods, because certain neighborhoods, the homes might be different out there. So that's what we do right here, where we put different areas. And so this is why we go ahead and we do this type of blogs, because we want to go ahead and get as much information as possible. That's why we structure the website that way. That's why you also make blogs this way as well, because when you blog, I always ask people, when's the last time you bought anything from a blog? It's probably been a long time, but the sole purpose of the blog in today's age is so that you can get referenced on AI. Because even if I go right here and I say, how much does window cleaning cost in Charlotte, North Carolina, guess what ends up happening? You end up having this AI answer right here where it summarizes this as well. And so it's going to pull this information from other areas also. And so not only do we rank number one for that, but also sometimes what will end up happening is we'll be mentioned down here as well, which on this one, how much does window cleaning cost in Charlotte, North Carolina? It just depends on the day, right? Of whenever you get mentioned like this. And so AI mode and these different things will also go ahead and mention your website. And so that's why it's very important that you create these blogs so not only do you answer the question, but when you answer the question, it may go ahead and funnel people over to your blog as well, which they take action on that. And so that is why you want to go ahead and structure your website this way when it comes to pricing, and be as transparent about it as possible. Now that you've seen how we structure the service pages, pricing sections, and even content like blogs and press releases around pricing, I want to show you how to take it to the next level with an actual online estimator on your website. And this lets customers calculate their own price range on your website, which drives more traffic and conversions if you rank the estimator page locally as well. So let me give you a quick breakdown of what a pricing estimator can do. And I'm going to use our client Rob Anderson at Clean Power Wash. Shout out to him. He has a great YouTube channel you guys need to go ahead and check out with a lot of pressure washing information. But for the sake of this video, we're going to go ahead and demo this online estimator, and we're going to go ahead and use house washing, because on an online estimator, the first thing the customer chooses is the service. And so the service we're going to choose is house washing. And then after that, it's going to go when they would like it done. We're going to just say within 2 weeks. Then after that, the square footage. So we'll go ahead and talk about the square footage at this point. Is it 1 story, 2 stories, 3 stories? We'll say 2 stories because that's very common. Then is it vinyl, brick or stone, cedar or metal? Since a lot of houses out there in Maryland are vinyl, we'll choose that option. Then light, dirt or pollen, moderate algae or mildew. We'll do moderate algae or mildew at that point. Is it easy access, some obstacles, hard to access? We'll say some obstacles. And then what it'll do is it'll have this information right here that we'll go ahead and see. So once the customer has answered those, the estimator shows the results instantly. And this info will go back to the business and the customer clicks see your estimate, right? So they'll go ahead and click see your estimate. And then from there, they get a real range based on their answers. In this case, it's 283 to 398, and they can toggle the factors right here as well and start over and see how the price changes depending on their situation. Right, guys? And so that's exactly how customers want to shop. They want to understand the drivers. They want to see a believable range. And then they want to go ahead and talk to a human to see if it still feels right, to confirm, the pricing that's on the website. And this isn't theoretical, guys. If I go into Google right now and I type in pressure washing online prices, I'm going to go ahead and see House Call Pro with an entire pricing guide, calculate baseline costs, as you guys can see right now. All of this information they're going about. And what this does is they know that this drives conversions. They know that this drives traffic. And even Angie's List is doing it right here where they haven't calculated and they give out ranges. And even Thumbstack is giving out ranges as well and a calculator and get a free estimate. And so this is how the landscape is changing for exterior cleaning businesses. If you don't provide this on your own website, which is a pricing estimator, then you're basically handing that demand to those platforms and these aggregators. And so that's why having this online estimator is such a big lever, and it increases conversions, it can rank locally, and it can make you the transparent option AI wants to recommend, such as ChatGPT. And so in this final part of this video, guys, I'm going to step back on camera right now and show you how you can get something like this on your own website and what the process looks like if you want our help doing this for your exterior cleaning business. Let's go ahead and jump into that now. If you're still watching this, you're probably one of the few exterior cleaning businesses who actually cares about being ahead of the curve and not reacting to it. And guess what, guys? We just covered a lot. And we covered why hiding your pricing quietly kills your leads and visibility, how Google and AI tools like ChatGPT are already pulling and guessing pricing without you, how to structure your service pages, pricing sections, blogs, and press releases so that they can actually use your data, and how having a real pricing estimator works on a live exterior cleaning website. And so now you got two choices. You can either ignore everything that I've said, let Angie's, Thumbstack, and AI decide how you're positioned and what you probably charge, and keep wondering why the cheaper, worse companies outrank you and are getting recommended more than your business. Or you can become the most transparent, most trusted option in your market and let Google and AI push customers towards you instead of past you. And if you run an exterior cleaning business doing at least $100,000 a year and you want this built properly, here's what I'm offering. So my team and I put together a free price transparency, blueprint strategy session for exterior cleaning businesses, and it's a short custom audit and breakdown where we're going to audit your current website, your Google business profile, and online presence specifically for pricing and estimator opportunities. And we'll record a 5 to 10 minute walkthrough video showing exactly what you're missing and how to fix it. And we'll map out where a pricing estimator either could be on your website, what questions it should ask, and how to tie it into your lead flow. And if you like that plan and you want us to actually build it for you, the pages, the content, and the estimator, we'll talk about that. If not, you can walk away with a clear blueprint that you can use on your own. So here's what to do next, guys. What you can go ahead and do is you can click the link in the description that says request your pricing transparency blueprint, and then you fill out the short form. It'll ask your website and just some information about your business, and after you submit it, my team will review everything and send you your custom audit, with your video along with next steps within a few days. So do it now while this is still fresh in your mind and before your competitors start copying this and this becomes the norm, because what you just saw is changing very quickly, and the businesses that move first are going to own the next few years of search, not only on AI platforms but online like Google. So click the link, fill out the form, and I'll see you guys in the next video.